Alright, my Instagram's right there. If you need any help at all, I'll be more than happy to help you. Just keep in mind though, if I don't respond right away, don't take it personal. I'm just busy, that's all. Hey, what's up guys? I'm Ben Machado. I'm the guy that revealed the secret of how you can make your own Pinecone pendant. Like, I don't know where to start. I know it's been 5 months since I uploaded that video. I know I've been a little quiet since then. I know my Instagram has nothing mentioned or said anything about pine cones, and it's all for a reason. And that's because since then, I've been working on so many more secrets, so many more cool projects. And if you haven't seen those cool projects, make sure you go check that out. But I was going through some tough times before I decided to come back on YouTube. And for me to come back on YouTube, not expecting what was going to happen, and for me to receive so much love and support from you guys, it really means a lot. So I just want to say thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for taking the time to watch this face right here. Thank you for everything. It really means a lot because other Pinecone creators did not like my last Pinecone video. And from now on, I'm going to refer the Pinecone creators as the Pinecone community. And the community did not like me at all. They hate my guts more than ever. The biggest reason why I appreciate all your love and support is because I did receive a lot of negativity from that Pinecone video. But they're all mostly from the Pinecone community anyway, so I don't really care. I mean, I understand why they're mad at me. I understand why they hate my guts with all their heart. I know what I was getting myself into. I'm happy with the decision I made. I don't regret uploading that video. It's so annoying how like the Pinecone community been hitting me up on Instagram, been exposing me, calling me evil and all this negative stuff, when really they're just so butthurt that someone like me revealed the secret. And you know, I've only been doing this for not long at all. I don't think I've been doing this for a year. No, I haven't been doing this for a year because that video was uploaded 5 months ago. So yeah, so for me to like figure this out within months while they figure this out in years, it sure says a lot about my creativity if you ask me. I'm not going to say any other Pinecone creators' names of who exactly hates me, who exactly exposed me, etc, etc. I'm not Tekashi69. I am not a snitch. I'm not going to start more drama than I already have. But then again, after this video is uploaded, after it gets a good amount of views, the community are just going to, oh my god, they're just probably going to... They're probably going to find a way to cancel me. They're going to say, oh, that's not how you make this part. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Blah, blah, blah. They're just denying, left to right. Let me ask you this, Pinecone community. You don't think I'm doing this the right way? Okay, then explain this part to me right now. Yeah, so after that clip of me putting the UV resin onto that blue Pinecone pendant, why does it look so much more better and more cooler than yours? Why does it look so similar if I didn't decide to add that blue powder? I don't know. You tell me. It makes sense why the Pinecone community denied everything I said, doesn't want you to believe this, blah, blah, blah. Because put it like this, let's say I'm a chef and I figure out the deepest, darkest secret of the Chick-fil-A formula to make those delicious Chick-fil-A sandwiches. If I expose the secret and I reveal all the ingredients, all the process out on YouTube, out on social media, out everywhere, and Chick-fil-A comes out and denies it, is that really a surprise? Of course not, because Chick-fil-A doesn't want you to know the secret. But if I were to expose it, of course they're going to come out and say, no, this is not how you do it, blah, blah, blah. Even though it's going to taste very similar and it's going to taste exactly alike. Maybe I should figure out the secret. I'm not a chef. Anyways, back to the point. That's exactly how it's like with the whole Pinecone community. Everyone's denying left to right. Again, I'm not going to name names. I'm not a snitch. You don't see no 6ix9ine on my forehead anywhere. I'm not a rat. Maybe I should figure out the secret to the Chick-fil-A sandwiches. And I should open my own restaurant, sell it for a cheaper price, and be pro LGBTQ. Oh, that will really, really make them mad. Sell it for cheaper, be pro LGBTQ, Pride Month every month, you know? Sorry, I really needed to rant, so now let's get started. So after you're done hunting for some pine cones, looking for some pine cones, buying some pine cones, however you get your pine cones, the one thing you always want to do is make sure there's nothing inside of the pine cone. Like this little feather, little sea thing, whatever this is called, this is okay. What I mean by this is, I'll show you in a sec. Let me get to the bottom because they're normally at the bottom of the package. You see this little weird string thing that belongs in outdoor nature? Yeah, this is the stuff you do not want inside of your pine cones, because when this closes up, if you have this little string thing inside of it, it's going to ruin the pendant. There's going to be air bubbles when you cover it with resin, stuff like this. This is what I'm talking about. All you gotta do is just get it out. I know it's very thin, it seems harmless, but you will be surprised when this closes up with water and causes so many air bubbles. So what I highly recommend you do is just simply get rid of it. See, it just took me a few seconds. It's not a big deal. Just get rid of it. Oh look, I'm glad I caught this on right now, because if you see this little stem right there, if I allow it to close, that's going to be a big air bubble right there that I don't want. In your life do is completely close the lid. Why I say that is because if you do that, you're gonna kill all the pine cones that you see right here. Seriously, you're gonna kill it. The best way to close it is by having a diagonal like this. Make sure there's corners open so they can breathe. And you might be wondering, well, Ben, this won't stay down. Well, duh, pine cone floats. So what you're gonna need is get something heavy, put it on top. These bad boys right here is going to breathe with no problem. Okay, it's been 4 hours. I think it's time for it to come out of the water and let it be dried up. This is what it looks like now that it's completely closed. Some looks better than others. If you find holes like this, it's okay. You can always just fill it up with resin. Now that you have each and every single pine cone standing up, facing this way, has to be facing down. The pointy part faces down, the big fat part faces up. Let it dry for a good 30 to 40 minutes in warm temperature room. Okay, it's been 40 minutes so far. For the most part, it's pretty much done. Because there's no water up top, it's gonna start opening up at the top first if you don't cover this up with resin. Okay, we're gonna move everything off to the side. This is what you're going to need. Resin, one hardener, and the other just resin. You're going to need some kind of mixing cup set. I just gave myself a splinter. Oh my God. I just gave myself a splinter, so be really careful. Oh man, it's still there. For those wondering, I did eventually get rid of that splinter that was stuck in my finger. It took me 3 days to get rid of it. Why? Because I was kind of lazy, but then it kind of hurt. Grab one of these cups. It's gonna have the ounces. What I'm gonna do is fill 4 ounces of regular resin here and the other 4 ounces with the hardener. That's gonna equal 8 ounces. That's 50-50. Normally what I like to do is start with the resin. Make sure you're always wearing gloves. No matter if you're only doing a little bit of resin, a lot of resin, I don't care how much resin you're doing. You always, always, always need to wear gloves, because if you touch resin with your bare hands, you're gonna get yourself in a sticky situation you do not want to be in. Again, make sure this is 50-50. If it's 60-40, 30-70, it's going to be imbalanced and you're going to get yourself in a sticky situation. It will not harden up, it will be sticky like gum, and you do not want that at all. So please remember, 50-50, okay? I cannot stress this part enough. 50-50. As you may tell, it's divided. This is the resin and this is the hardener. It may be a little hard to see, but it's stacked up together. Yeah, I know. Whoa, liquid stacked together. Anyway, so this is 50-50, 4 ounces of resin and 4 ounces of hardener. After you're done stirring this up for 4 minutes or so, you're ready to dip this inside a pine cone. But before we do that, this is what the imbalanced resin would look like. Like, look how creamy and white it is compared to this. Like, you can kind of tell this is not going to come out good. So bubbly, so white, it's so yuck. I know this isn't pure clear, but once this dries up, it will turn clear. You need a disposable cup. This is what it looks like. Start grabbing your pine cones and dip it in. Try not to overflow. You're gonna have resin dripping down. Let it drip down for a good bit. Once it starts getting really thin, it's okay to just put it in a cup. Found a balanced spot. And don't mess with it. Keep going. Flip it upside down. And repeat. This is what can happen if you're not being careful. There will be times when it starts to open up after the first coat. It's okay. Just don't let it sit out for too long. Start covering up with the second coat as soon as possible. Because if you don't, it's just gonna start opening and opening and opening. That's something you don't want. So all you gotta do is just cover it up with the second coat. Don't pull it out. The best way to open it is simply by cutting it. It's that easy. So once you fill your second cup with resin, again, 50-50 hardener and resin, just do the same exact thing I just did with the first one. Just dip, let it sit out, let it drip down, and let it dry. This is what it's gonna look like after you put on the second coat. It's going to stand on its own for the most part, and it will make a big mess. So I highly recommend you putting something underneath it, because yeah, as you can tell here, it's pretty messy, but I'm pretty used to it though. Once you aggressively remove this hard, dried up resin from your table, now you have a choice to make. You can either go ahead and start slicing this up with a bandsaw, Or if you're creative like me, you can take the time and decorate the pine cone even more, because why the heck not? So for this part, what you're gonna need is some disposable small cups, popsicle sticks, glitter. You can use powder if you want. I don't know why I just did that. You can also use alcohol ink. Whatever you want to use, that's cool. Do whatever you want. There's so many more stuff that you can be using to decorate this pine cone, but for this video, I'm only gonna go through powder, alcohol ink, and glitter. A lot of you guys might be wondering, Ben, what the heck is UV resin hard and these words that I cannot read and I'm not gonna try to pronounce it? Well, this is called UV resin, and this I like to call a magical resin because it's so magical that the second it touches UV light, blackout light, neon light, whatever you want to call it, it turns hard like a rock. No joke. I'm not trying to be funny or anything. That's how it is. How does it work? I don't know. I don't really care. All I care about is making cool art. Very wet, very sticky. Watch this. Still a little bit of juice in there, but look. Nothing. Look, I'm using my bare hands. Nothing. For all you pinecone hunters out there, I have a secret for you guys. So what if I told you that you can bring a pinecone back to life after it's old, moldy, yellow, white, not very pretty looking? Sounds crazy, right? But watch this clip and you'll see what I mean. Y'all saw how old the dang pine cone was when I picked it up, right? Look at this. It instantly turned brown, like it's all young again. That's it. All you really have to do to bring pine cone back to life is put it in a cup, fill it up with bleach for a good 30 seconds or so, and bam, it's back to life. I'm gonna be showing you how you can fill in these air bubbles that you got. I know it's really hard to see because it's clear, but with this alcohol ink, it's gonna change it all. Okay, now I'm gonna shut up and not talk as much because I'm gonna stay focused on this. Okay, time for the second coat. Wow, aren't you guys so amazed how it's so easy to fill in air bubble? So yeah, that's the best way to fill in an air bubble with UV resin, alcohol ink, so it blends in, it camouflages and everything. It's very easy and all, but it's very time consuming. That right there is a bandsaw. This is the brand I'm using. It's pretty self-explanatory. All you literally have to do is slice it. It doesn't matter if you cut it like this, that, however you want to cut it, it's up to you. So after you're done cutting your pendants, some pendants may come out looking like this. However it comes out, they're all normal. None of them are messed up. The only time it will be considered messed up is if, like, you know, half of this is already off, you broke it in half, things like that. If it looks something like this, you're good to go. Even if it has a lot of holes in the middle, you're still good to go. And I'm about to show you how to fill it in. Whatever you do, when you're cutting the tip, please be very, very, very careful not to cut the tip of your fingers, because God forbid, I don't want to see any of you guys end up in an emergency room because you weren't careful enough when it comes to this bandsaw. That's the dangerous part of this whole project. One thing I get asked a lot is, Ben, so how exactly do other pine cone creators make that hole in the center of the pine cone to fill in with that secret liquid? By the way, that secret liquid is baby oil. And the answer is really simple. See this? You know, just ordinary pinecone pendant. Add a little bit of water to soak it up, make it wet. Once you make it wet, whoa. It's not necessary to make the whole thing wet. Once it's a little bit wet, boop, it's gone. It's out. I'm gonna start mixing. Pay really close attention over there. That right there is a heat gun. That's what I use to get rid of all the air bubbles inside of the resin. So this is what the pendants look like now that it's dried up. So once you're filling in all the resin with whatever color you want, with whatever texture, whether it's glitter, rubbing alcohol, not rubbing alcohol, alcohol ink, powder, however you want to fill it up, at the end, it's going to look messy. But trust me, all that messiness is going to go away right now, and you'll see why. So this is what it should look like. A huge blob of resin at the bottom, some of it at the top. All the texture right there is about to be sanded off. All right, let's make this bad boy into a masterpiece. I know it's really hard to see now, like, but once you cover this up with UV resin, trust me, you will be blown away. But before I show you, we got to do the other side. Now that's much better. Grab a brush, brush off all the unnecessary dust on the side of the pendant. Another thing that I cannot stress enough explaining, you have to use a sanding belt machine for your Pinecone pendants. You cannot do it by hand. There's not another way around it. You have to use a machine. This is the biggest question I've been receiving. It's kind of getting annoying at this point because, again, you cannot do this by hand. Nothing about this project is cheap. Everything's expensive, from the machines, resin, glitter, powder, alcohol ink. Nothing about this is cheap. Now at this point, I'm going to show you how you can work the Cricut Design app. Oh, by the way, this is what the icon look like. Cricut Design. New project. For those of you who don't know how to use this, it's very easy. Ignore all this weird, unnecessary BS. Go to Upload, open Photo Library, go to Favorites, or wherever photo you want to use. I'm going to go, where the fuck is, oh, right here. This is the photo I'm going to use. I'm going to crop. Remove. This silhouette you see right here is what's gonna come out of the machine. And you can go all crazy if you want. This is how it's gonna come out on the machine. Press next. You upload it, get it out, choose the size you want, and then you go continue. You upload an image. I'm gonna go to my open uploaded images already. What do I want done? I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna go print out this rose, so I'm gonna insert it. Go right there in the corner, have it really small because the pendant I'm making isn't that big. It's gonna be 1.5 inches to 2 inches. I'm gonna have it smaller. It's gonna be very small, which is fine with me. I need to connect with the Bluetooth. Once I do that, it's gonna print. Now it's time for transfer tape. Ta-da! And now, for the part that every single Pinecone creator has denied, I'm about to show you. Ta-da! Don't forget to add UV light. This is how you make a pine cone pendant. Once you're done doing this at the other side, all you have to do is drill a hole. It's not really drilling a hole. All you really have to do is make a small hole to make the necklace, get some string, wear it as a necklace, and bam, there is your pendant. Again, do not let anyone else tell you otherwise. People are going to deny this. People are going to say I have no idea what I'm talking about. They're probably going to use this part against me just because I didn't put UV resin on this side, which I'm going to, but yeah, look at this. This is how it's done. Again, do not let anyone else tell you otherwise. Alright guys, we're at the end of the video, and remember, the next time you hear the Pinecone community whine and complain how cold it is outside, that's why. That's why it's a big deal that when it's cold out, they can't really, you know, work outside in the cold, unless they're like me and I have a garage and I can just work in there, but chances are they don't. So that's why they whine and complain. But if you buy something from me, I promise you, I will never whine and complain about how cold it is outside because I'll just work in my garage. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'll see you guys next week with more secrets to expose.